The Faculty of Agriculture is one of the 10 faculties within the University of Pattimura, and it was established on November 11, 1963. Agricultural cultivation, forestry, animal husbandry, agricultural product technology, and agricultural socio-economic are among the 5 departments available to the faculty. There are 8 study programs offered by the Faculty of Agriculture, which include the Agrotechnology Study Program, Agribusiness, Forestry, Animal Husbandry, Agricultural Product Technology, Agricultural Extension, Soil Science, and Plant Breeding. Agrotechnology and Agribusiness are accredited with an A, while Forestry, Animal Husbandry, Agricultural Product Technology are B accredited. The other newly formed study programs, which are Agricultural Extension, Soil Science, and Plant Breeding, are accredited as good. The Faculty of Agriculture has the primary role and responsibility to assist the central government in general and the Maluku provincial government in particular in producing human resources and doing research on local food in order to support national food sovereignty. The Faculty of Agriculture at the University of Pattimura envisions itself as a superior center for learning, studying, and applying science and technology in the field of agriculture based on archipelago regions by 2023 in order to achieve national food sovereignty. The Faculty of Agriculture's mission is to prepare and develop human resources who master and are able to apply agricultural science and technology for the benefit of the community, as well as to form an industrial-minded agricultural graduate by fostering an entrepreneurial spirit in the community. The Faculty of Agriculture's main goals are to prepare graduates who master science and technology in agriculture and have an entrepreneurial spirit in accordance with its vision and mission of producing graduates who are globally competitive in agriculture, to establish the Faculty of Agriculture as a center of excellence in creating research goods to meet the needs of the archipelago's development, to produce the concept of resource utilization with industrial understanding in order to increase competitiveness. In order to deal with the dynamics of current development and global climate change, the Faculty of Agriculture should conduct research and be innovative on island-based local food security, as the Maluku archipelago is made up of thousands of small islands separated by vast oceans, and local food security should become the focus of the study in dealing with the possible climate change on small.
Enaknya pakai SPD enak. Mudah-mudahan ada sebentar.
The Faculty of Agriculture. This makes the campus comfortable and favorable to teaching, with the total number of the students in 2021. The spread of laboratories in each department, totaling 41, as well as available
Ini seperti di agote.com.
forests are supported by a library with a number of textbooks, form of an e-library that is useful in providing education, practical work, and research services, and is capable of producing various research and discoveries in the form of publication, patents, and intellectual property rights. The teaching and learning system and process reflect the Faculty of Agriculture strategy for achieving its vision, purpose, and goals. Monitoring and evaluation of the learning process is done on a regular basis, starting at the level of study programs, departments, and up to the faculty level, and is done at the end of each semester to obtain information about the learning process's development, so that assessment and development of learning systems can be done to keep the learning components up to date. There are 12 professors, 72 doctors, and 125 master degrees on the Faculty of Agriculture's teaching staff. With these current human resources, the Faculty of Agriculture can readily obtain a work, research, intellectual property rights, regional national ones, as well as with non-governmental organizations. Such as student dormitories, guest house, court, to make
Kirim ulang ke saya, Pak. Pastikan nanti.
University, Professor Dr. J. Sampeno S.A. and all vice rector.
Honorable the Dean of Faculty of Agriculture, Professor Dr. Insinyur J.M. Matiano, and all vice dean.
Honorable the invited speakers, distinguished guests, and all the participants.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, and good morning to all of us. First of all, let's praise our God Almighty, who has given the blessing for us so we can attend and participate in this event held by Faculty of Agriculture, Continental University.
Thank you very much for joining
Gambar hilang.
our mission and warm welcome to all of you. My name is Ishe.
And I'm Fano.
It is an awesome and precious chance for us to be your Master of Ceremony today, 27th of November 2021, in our big event,
The second International Conference on Agriculture, Biodiversity, Food Security, and Health 2021. Singing the national anthem Indonesia Raya, ladies and gentlemen, please stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our agenda for today, let us pray together according to our religion and beliefs. Pray stars.
Seminar internasional.
Praying enough. Ladies and gentlemen, go on to the next agenda is speeches. The first welcoming speech will be delivered by the Dean of Faculty of Agriculture, Patimura University, to Professor Dr. Insinyur J.M. Matinahoro. The stage is yours.
The Honorable Rector of the University of Patimura, Vice Rector and Deans of Faculty in Patimura University, distinguished speakers and oral presenters, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Salam, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, and good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that the global population is rising rapidly, world agriculture faces the critical challenge of producing and distributing sufficient food, meat, and fiber to meet increasing demand in condition of climate changing and scarce natural resources. Innovative policy and new farming approaches based on a robust scientific base are needed to tackle the challenge of increasing agriculture production while also meeting environmental, economic, and social goals. The fundamental purpose of agriculture is to produce food and raw materials and grow healthy, well-nourished people. One of the important tasks is to provide food of sufficient quantity and quality to feed and nourish the world population sustainably. All people can live healthy and productive lives, more importantly, in COVID-19 pandemic era. With the increasing world population in the future, the link between agriculture, biodiversity, food security, and sustainability to support health and energy well-being need to be addressed. Sustainable agriculture and food security are fundamental issues globally. Therefore, the Faculty of Agriculture, Patimura University, has also considered these issues essential for agricultural development, especially with the Natur of Maluku province that consists of many small islands. Our faculty has been working to promote food security and sustainable agriculture through education, training, research, community services, and professional practices. We also take an interdisciplinary approach to environmental sustainability, health, and social cultural aspects of food production and security. Ladies and gentlemen, Faculty of Agriculture, Patimura University has been established since 1963. The purpose of the establishing the Faculty of Agriculture was to build and develop quality human resources and agriculture competence. Up until now, the Faculty of Agriculture currently has 1,250 students and 204 staffs that distribute among 5 departments, which are agriculture cultivation, forestry, animal husbandry, agriculture social economics, and agriculture product technology. Issues concerning often decreasing enrollment, inadequate research funding, declining quality of research and teaching, and high graduate unemployment have made the faculty work extra hard to improve staff competence. One way is to organize academic meetings nationally and internationally, such as this international conference, and encourage staff to publish in internationally recognized journals. An increase in demand for quality scientific research asks for a quality revival of human resources. The faculty has undertaken to encourage excellent research and publication. It is a great honor and pleasure to see many staff in the faculty that have participated in this conference and are willing to publish articles in the Scopus Index proceeding. The same thing goes for all speakers and participants from other countries and from all over Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to speakers from Indonesia, I appreciate greatly and heartily welcome. I thank the overseas invited speaker, Dr. Chayanon Sawadin Narurat from Thailand and Dr. Sota Yamamoto from Japan for their support and willingness to share in this conference valuable event. The conference would be going on today, sharing ideas and findings of recent and ongoing agriculture, biodiversity, food security, energy, and health as developments. Hopefully, they would nurture the exciting network between researchers and create new systems among related institutions, which would speed up developments and resolve recent highlight to various discussed subjects. On this particular occasion, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Rector of Patimura University for his devoted attention and funding for this conference. Lastly, to all participants for their active participation that made it possible to conduct this conference. Last but not least, thank you to the organizing committee for making this possible at this last. Finally, I wish the conference would run effectively, achieving its goals. Please enjoy the conference. I would like to invite Rector to open this conference officially. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, It is our honor to have the rector of Patimura University to deliver the opening remark, and afterwards we will officially open this conference. Please welcome Professor Dr. M.J. Satino S.A.M.O.
Thank you. Honorable keynote speaker, Dr. Kayanon Sawat Denarna, Dr. Sota Yamamoto, Engineer Syarifuddin PhD, and Dr. Engineer S. Lenupna MSc. Distinguished and oral presenters, members of organizing committee, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, and good morning. On behalf of Patimura University and my behalf, I welcome you to the second International Seminar on Agriculture, Biodiversity, Food Security, and Health, which this time is conducted with the specific theme, Strengthening Food Security and Sustainable Energy for Small Islands. I would also like to extend our greetings to all distinguished speakers, 75 participants from other countries, Thailand and Japan, from western to eastern part of Indonesia, especially from Center for Estate Crops Research and Development, the Ministry of Agriculture. High appreciation is extended to committee of this seminar, who has organized the seminar intensively. Consequently, the seminar could be taken place in time virtually as we all intended. It is our pleasure, the honor, to host this very important seminar organized by the Faculty of Agriculture, Patimura University. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Patimura University is Maluku's largest and oldest public university. We have 9 faculties and postgraduate schools, institutions dedicated to research and community service, and a quality assurance institute. We currently have about 25,000 students enrolled at the university. The majority of them are from Maluku, but also from other parts of Indonesia. The University of Patimura has traditionally laid great emphasis on natural resources management. We have long believed that strong scientific and technical knowledge will be required to ensure the sustainable use of Indonesian natural resources, particularly those in Maluku. Patimura University is also actively working on and committed to establishing a national and international reputation for excellence and research education. As a result, this seminar is essential to attaining our objectives. Our honorable distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, due to the unique sets of challenges and vulnerabilities they face, small islands are widely recognized as special cases for sustainable development. They share characteristics such as limited land availability, insularity, susceptibility to natural disaster, and deep integration into global markets that make them particularly vulnerable to global environmental and economic change processes. These processes and change are increasingly manifesting themselves in the realm of food security. The smaller and the island and the smaller that habitats and the fewer ecological gradients and thus the fewer agriculture development opportunities as sources of food and energy. With this constraint in mind, small and very small island natural resources should be managed sustainably. According to the United Nations Sustainable Development is defined as development that satisfies basic needs without jeopardizing future generation ability to satisfy their own. As a result, is the becoming increasingly critical to meet food demand and ensure food security while also while also conserving natural sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, as a result of seminars such as this one of bringing together government officials, researchers, industry experts, the Foundation for Sustainable Natural Resources Management and Use for increasing food security in small island may be valid. Integrative and coordinated efforts are the only way to reach this goal. Thanks to all the professionals who come to share their knowledge with us today. The many government authorities and industrial organizations who have come to join us today are also welcome. Distinguished speaker and participant will be on hand today to share the knowledge and expertise. It is my hope that the participants have a good and productive meeting, and I look forward to the meeting's outcome and constructive conclusion. Please join me in welcoming everyone to this seminar and wishing it great success. And I would like to take this opportunity to officially open the seminar. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please round of applause for the second International Conference on Agriculture, Biodiversity, Food Security, and Health 2021. Thank you, Professor Martino, for officially opening this conference. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the next agenda, which is the plenary session of the second International Conference on ABFSH 2021 by theme Strengthening Food Security and Sustainable Energy of the Small Island Communities.
Ladies and gentlemen, to this session, we will hold a discussion with 4 invited speakers. The first speaker is Insinyur Syafarudin, PhD from Indonesia. The second is Dr. Sauden Agunat, from Chiang Mai Hyderabad University, Thailand. The third is Dr. Sota Yamamoto from Kagoshima University, Japan. And the last one is Dr. Insinyur Estel Lugna from Maluku, Indonesia. This session will be moderated by Professor Dr. Insinyur S.H. Kahaju.
Without any further ado, we would like to invite Professor Dr. S.H. Kahaju to be on the stage as the moderator of the first session. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, we will hold a photo session. To invited speakers, the dean as well as presenters and participants are welcome to take position. Three, two, one. Okay, for all the participants, please turn on camera because we will begin the photo session. In three, two, one. Okay, thank you very much, Professor. You can give the
I would like to thank the committee for this opportunity and trust. Okay. First, I would like to thank the committee that has trusted me to become the chair of this very important conference. The chair of the keynote presentation. First, I would like to say hello to everybody. Honorable Rector of the Patumura University, Professor Nus Sateno. Respected Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi dan hello. At first, I would like to take opportunity to greet you, each of you, this morning. Good morning, and I wish you, the participant, will enjoy this conference and benefit from your participation. Secondly, as a chair of this keynote session, I would like to announce that we are pleased to have 4 keynote speakers. First is Dr. Shafaruddin from the Estate Crop Research and Development Indonesia. He is the head of this institution. The second is Dr. Sawat Dina Runat He is from ASEAN Development College for Community Economic and Technology, Chiang Mai Rahabat University in Thailand. Both will be presenting in the second session of this presentation. And the second is, in the second session, we have two. There is Dr. Shota Yamamoto from the Department of Engineering Science and Mathematics, Kagoshima University in Japan, and Dr. Samuel Leonufna from Patimura University. He is also the head of the Center for Conservation of Maluku Biodiversity. Ladies and gentlemen, let us start with the first speaker, who is Dr. Safaruddin, the head of, let me, Dr. Safaruddin, Director of Indonesian Center for Estate Crop Research and Development, and the Republic of Indonesia. He is a researcher position as a senior scientist, and his expertise is plant molecular breeding. I would like to also inform you the education of our first keynote speaker. He is in the first degree in the university in Nama Application or plant specialist from University of Sriwijaya, and master's degree in plant breeding at life and environment science faculty, University of Tsukuba, and PhD degree from the area of biosphere research, science and technology from the same University of Tsukuba. And he has got many ministerial positions before, as the head of the Cooperation for Publication of Research Results in the Badan Penelitian dan Pengembangan Pertanian for Research and Development Board of the Ministry of Agriculture, and he also has many publications, national publications as well as international. I will not mention one by one. Also, he is a member of Window, and also the committee and variety of the Indonesian scientific community. So I would like to give the time to the first keynote presenter or speaker, Dr. Safaruddin, who will give the presentation pre-recorded. Please the committee to present this keynote.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to present my presentation with the title is Technological Innovation for Sustainable Bioenergy Supply in Small Island Communities. Well, first of all, I would like to explain about the estate crop research on my institute. Indonesian Center for Estate Crop has mandate to conduct research and development for more than 70 commodities. Some of the varieties are coffee, cocoa, coconut, sugarcane, pepper, palm oil, and ginger. Estate crop also have some commodities that potentially used for biofuel such as oil palm, coconut, jatropha, Reutelis for biodiesel. And the other hand, sugarcane, sago, and arenga for bioethanol. However, the estate crop development in Indonesia faced many issues covering social, economic, and also environmental aspects. Even though plantation expansion is considered one of the main causes of environmental externalities such as deforestation, land use change, which contribute to climate change, and also as a crop production is also highly affected by the changing in the climate pattern. As small-scale farmers still dominate the plantation subsector, the productivity is relatively low due to low technology adoption, especially the superior variety and input application. And pest and disease attacks are more severe and difficult to control. And also price fluctuation and increasing consumer concern of environmental and healthy issues are also big challenge for smallholder farmers, as many of them are still trapped in poverty and dominated by aging farmers. Where the slide of sustainable plantation, where the estate crop development are often accused environmental issues such as deforestation, land and forest fire, peatland destruction, etc. And however, if the estate crop development considering local wisdom in the form of how local culture, social, economic, and local practice to watch their environment combined with modern technological innovation, the expansion of the plantation crop. Sustainable plantation is potentially developed in terms of bioenergy source for communities in small islands, and the supporting technological are already available. Well, the technological innovation for sustainable practices, technological innovation to support sustainable plantation has been largely available, not only for the variety crop, but also for biofuel commodities. And superior varieties for the majority of estate crop have been released with the potential advantage in high productivity and quality, resistant to pests and disease, and also adaptability to a specific climate condition, such as adaptability to local environment. To achieve the potential advantage of the varieties, supporting technologies such as good agricultural practices are recommended. The GAP is started from land preparation, planting material preposition, farm management, pest and disease control, and harvest and post-harvest handling, and to minimize the negative effect on the environmental. Much research has also already invented biofertilizer and biopesticide, including the bioprocessing method, and agricultural waste processing become high value product. In addition, research in estate crop also include social and institutional engineering. To increase the small-scale farmer capacity and capability to apply sustainable farming system and increase their well farmers. So far, we already released many superior varieties such as coconut, more than 50 varieties, sugarcane, more than 7 varieties, Arangia, more than 5 varieties. These pictures show you the Reutialis. We already released 4 varieties. We call it Kemirsunan 1 and 2, and also Carmindo 1 and 2. And also Jatropha, we already released 2 varieties, and we call it Jet 1 Agribun and Jet 2 Agribun. And since we already conduct research on bioenergy, this picture shows you the bioenergy laboratory facilities where we conduct research of bioenergy with results from various estate crops. Ladies and gentlemen, this slide shows you that we already have patent and license for small to medium scale of biofuel reactor that can be developed in rural areas or in the small scale communities of farmers. Well, this slide shows us the technology innovation to increase value added of agricultural products such as utilization agricultural waste become bioenergy such as biogas, briquette, etc. are potentially in small island communities. Well, I think this is the last slide. There are the example of our innovation, biofertilizer and also biopesticide. The first one is biofertilizer. The brand of biofertilizer is Pakuan fertilizer with the active ingredients phosphate solubilizing microbe to increase crop resistance to drought. And the second one is biopesticide with the brand is Bionema with the active ingredients endophytic bacteria to control root nematode disease and the compost organic matter. The last one is biopesticide that we call it Bio3V. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ini kecap manis. Ya, pengalaman 120 hari rasanya beda. Manis.
Well, that is the presentation for the fourth speaker, Dr. Syafarudin from the estate crop of Indonesia. And I would like to present the keynote speaker, the second keynote speaker. That is Dr. Chayanon Syawat Dinarunat. Ladies and gentlemen, participants of this conference, ladies and gentlemen, the participants of this conference, that was the presentation, the keynote presentation, the first one from Dr. Syafarudin from the crop estate of the Ministry of Agriculture. And the second presenter, the keynote speaker, is Dr. Chayanon Syawat Dinarunat from the Chiang Mai University. And This time more efficiently, I would like to give the time to Dr. Chayanon Siwaguna. So the time is yours.
Good morning. Okay, good morning. Director of the and Dean of the Faculty of the Agriculture, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm really honored to have a chance to share my work with you. So I'm not sure that, let me share my slide. Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today I would like to share with you on the college research on the water, energy, and food nexus, and the case study of the Chiang Mai World Green City. So first of all, I will introduce you a bit on the water, energy, and food nexus, and I will move on to the case study of the Chiang Mai World Green City. And then in the Chiang Mai World Green City, I will talk about our research flagship. The first one is the smart community microgrid. The second one is the zero waste and the energy cycle. And the last one is the smart community. And then I will wrap up all of the project in the Chiang Mai World Green City or CMGC with the water, energy, and food nexus. Okay, typically the water, energy, and food nexus, or we call the WEF, is based on the SDG or Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. So among the 17 main goals of the SDG, there are at least 3 of the goals connect together and become a nexus. The first one is the zero hunger, and then also the affordable and the clean energy, and the 6th is the clean water and the sanitation. Okay, when we talk about the water, energy, and food nexus or the WEF concept, typically we concern a water issue, energy issue, and the food issue only for the single aspect, right? However, there are the linkage and interaction among the water, energy, and food system. As you can see from this picture, you see at least they have the water for energy, energy for water, energy for food, food for energy, and also the water for food. At least 5 linkage they formed between the water, energy, and food. And this nexus is very unstable and can be, unbalanced using the external stress. I will show you later. Okay, so why we need to concern a big picture of the water, energy, and food nexus when we would like to address or mitigate this problem. The most important one is because the access to clean water, to energy, and food are non-negotiable human rights. So people as a human, they are, have the right to access to the clean water, to get the enough energy, and also get enough food for the living. However, if you figure out that this is the predicted model, the global food demand will increase 60% by 2050, and also the global energy demand increase 33% by 2035, and also the global water demand increase almost 55%. So all of the water, energy, and food, they are all predicted to be increased in demand. So no way that we can get the balance among this nexus, right? So it leads to the gigantic consumption of the natural resource, and it become a big problem in the future. Also, the WEF nexus, they are very unstable and can be affected by a lot of the external threat. For example, increase in population, increase in demand of the middle, larger middle class, and increase the urbanization. All of this just only the few example of the threat that can affect the WEF, but in reality, there are still a whole lot of the threat that can affect the nexus, including COVID-19. The population in the next century will be predicted to be 10 billion, so lead to the increasing threat on water supply and decreased water quality. Also, you need more food and energy to serve that population. Also, the climate change that also have a lot of impact, like impacting the crop productivity, impacting the water supply, impacting the demand for the cooling and heating, and also the increase in the we call the middle class of the population. They consume a lot of the natural resource based on the lifestyle. WEF nexus are really very broad in the sizing. Okay, they are ranging from the household, such as the electricity consumption, automobile use, cooking, cleaning, and our everyday life, to the municipal or the local distribution, or to the regional. And the biggest one is the global supply chain of the water, energy, and food. So in this presentation, I would like to share you only in the household scale of the WEF, and also the larger size, the more complicated of the nexus. You will see. Okay, let's go to the Chiang Mai World Green City, or also called the CMGC. Chiang Mai World Green City is the, I think, is a model community that developed by ADIZ or our college 10 years ago. So we want the CMGC to be the model community that use the green technology with the renewable energy, and will be almost 100% sustainable. We build the GC from the scratch with the research funding, and so to actually the CMGC, they have the member which are our student, and also they have the leader which are our faculty. So there are around almost 20 people member in the CMGC. Before we go to the CMGC, I would like to introduce a bit on the Asian Development College for Community, Economy, and Technology, or ADSET, which is my college. The ADSET is in the Chiang Mai Rajabhat University, which is the institution for local community development. ADSET was established 10 years ago, and we have only the PhD and the master student in the community, energy, and environment. Our R&D focus on the well-being of the community by using the renewable energy and the green technology. We, ADSET, developed the Chiang Mai World Green City, or CMGC, from the 90 of the research funding. So it's like we just have the funding, and then we built a little bit of the CMGC, like a Lego, until it's a complete a set of the CMGC. We would like CMGC to be a smart community, which is the model community use 100% of renewable energy. This is the bird's eye view of the CMGC. CMGC is expected to be a sustainable, green, and smart community via integration of the renewable energy and the green technology. You will see that CMGC is in the we call the marine campus of the Chiang Mai Rajabhat University, which is in the northern part of Thailand, in the Chiang Mai province. And then it's in the quite a rural areas, like around an hour from the city of the Chiang Mai. And we are located in the forestry area, which is have a lot of the green area. Yeah, this is that you can see for the top island. CMGC is the living laboratory and the learning park. There are five. There are three main category of the research in the CMGC. The first one is the smart community microgrid, which represent with the orange box. The second one is the zero waste and the bioenergy cycle, which represent in the green box. And the third one is smart community development, which is in the yellow box. Okay, I move to the flagship number 1, which is the smart community microgrid. So in this research, we divided into the 5 phases, from the building, monitoring, data analysis, and integration, control, and then optimize our electricity grid in the CMGC. You can see from this slide that we have the DC, direct current microgrid, over here, and we also have the AC microgrid. We connect to the university grid, and we have the 700 kilowatt of the our PV solar farm that can generate the electricity, serve the marine campus of the university. This is our PV system. We have the 3.5 kilowatt of the solar rooftop over here. We have the 700 kilowatt grid connected to the university grid. And then from this solar farm, we serve the electricity to the university. Now, which is have the student around a couple thousand, and will be almost 20,000 in the next 5 years. And we also have the EV charging station over here, because we would like the vehicle in the CMTC to be EV. And we have the 25.5 kilowatt of the DC microgrid over here that serve the electricity to the residential area in the CMTC. And also we have 25 kilowatt of the AC microgrid, which is connect to the university grid. Also have the serve the residential area. And also for the agricultural purpose, we have the 3 kilowatt water pumping for our smart farm. So based on our knowledge in the CMGC, we extended the result to build the microgrid model for the rural village electrification for the 5 community in the Chiang Mai. And they are very, actually these community, they are in the really rural area and in the maybe on the top of the hill. So they haven't access to the electricity for for a long time, like almost 40 years. So when we apply this technology to them, they are really happy, and then we can enhance the quality of life of the community member. Okay, this is the flagship project number 2, which is in my responsibility. We call the zero waste and bioenergy cycle. In this project, because the CMGC, they have the activity, everyday life activity here. So we have the cooking, right, activity, and then we have the food waste. So food waste we'll put into the biogas plant to produce the biogas, which can be used for cooking to replace LPG, liquid petroleum gas, or put into the biomass power plant to produce the electricity. We also the compost, the digester, the leftover from the biogas digester, we compost it and put in as a fertilizer for our smart farm. And in the smart farm, if we have the leftover vegetable, something like that, we put into the biogas plant to produce biogas again. So it's kind of a cycle. And also, as you can see that we are located in the very green area, in the forestry area. So we have a lot of the leaf, we have a lot of the tree. So we use this agricultural residue to do a carbonization to make a charcoal, or to pelletize it and put into our gasification one process to produce the syngas, synthesis gas, and serve our biomass power plant. Also, we recover the heat from the exhaust gas. So when we recover the heat, so we produce the hot water and serve into our member. Let's start with our smart farm. Our smart farm majority we plant the vegetable, and you can see the worker over here is not a real worker. They are our student working in the smart farm, and then we use the PV in the smart farm. All the energy serving here. We use the PV like a PV water pumping. We also use PV for the lighting, and here we put the moisture sensor, electroconductivity sensor, a lot of sensor over here to do a lot of the research in the smart farm. We also work on the irrigation technique for the smart farm, and this is our product. You can see that we use a lot of the PV for the produce electricity in the CMGC, including in the smart farm. We also have another project we call the agrovoltaic. Agrovoltaic is when we try to plant the vegetable underneath the solar panel to decrease the temperature of the solar panel and to make it live longer. So now it's under research. This is our kitchen and the cafeteria. So in this one, you can see that we try not to cut down any tree, unnecessary cut down any tree. So this is the tree that in the middle, and we use as a pole for our cafeteria, which is our student and our faculty. They have the lunch or dinner over here. So when we do a cooking, so we will have the food waste. The food waste, we have our biogas digester to convert the food waste to the biogas, which is the methane rich gas, and then you can use as a renewable energy. And we have a lot of the training to either the domestic or the international trainer. In this slide, I show this is the staff from the Ministry of the Energy Bhutan. They came visiting us to get training on the renewable community scale renewable energy application. This is another the biogas digester that we use to handle our food waste and the organic waste from the activity in the CMGC. The biogas, when you produce it, we send it to our kitchen in the cafeteria for the cooking to replace LPG. So this is the activity in the CMGC that you see students doing the planting in the smart farm. They cook using the biogas, and that is real kind of the happy life for the student. From the know-how that we obtained from the CMGC, we extend that and we apply that our technology to the community. This is a portable biogas digester for the elephant camp. Because in the northern part, or especially in Chiang Mai, there are a lot of the elephant camp, and then elephant camp, it was predicted that almost 60 tons of the elephant dung is daily produced in only the northern part of Thailand. And then the elephant camp, they are always located nearby the river because they consume a lot of the water, either for their activity like watching barn, or watching the elephant, or serving the elephant for drinking. So it has the really debating between the people living downstream and the elephant camp, because the dung can contaminate to the water, to the river, and then cause some disease for the people using living downstream. They use this water for living. So this is the portable 1 cubic meter of the portable biogas digester we put in the 3 elephant camp in the Chiang Mai to test the efficiency. Also, we also extend the biogas digester for the school in the rural area that they use the food waste from the cafeteria to produce the gas, the biogas, and then they use the biogas for boiling the water for cleaning the utensil to enhance the hygienic of the student. As you can see in the previous slide, that we are in the middle of the forestry area, so we have a lot of the biomass, such as the leaves, such as the tree, right? So we have a lot of the project on the thermochemical process to convert that biomass to the energy. This is I pick this one is the biomass stove for heating and the hot water production. Actually, in the rural area of Thailand, they're gonna open burn the agricultural residues, so cause a lot of the air pollution, such as the PM 2.5. So we try to convince them to burn it into the biomass stove, which have the less emission. So this is the biomass stove, and then we put the heat exchanger here, and then we get the hot water out of the stove in addition with the heat energy. So the hot water and this technology we gave it to the nursery school in the really far away in the middle of nowhere, because over there in the winter time they are pretty cold, really cold, and then the student they don't want to take a shower. So it caused us some disease, and also when we give this one to them, so they have to take a shower, and then put everything is getting better and increase the hygiene of the student. This is our plan, our future research. We try to create the biogrid to integrate there are a lot of the biofuel production technologies such as biogas, biomass gasification, biodiesel production, and bioethanol production to produce electricity, and then to serve in each time of the year. So this one we got the funding from the HNEI, Hawaiian Natural Energy Institution from the US. Okay, this is the last flagship project. This is the smart community. So the main purpose is we would like to analyze the community context and to balance the community. So to reach that goal, we need to monitor a lot of the data from the CMGC, such as we have we put a lot of the sensor to monitor in the environmental aspect, such as the air quality, water usage, the waste production, something like that. And then also in the energy, for the energy consumption, energy production for the building, indoor, outdoor temperature, humidity, outdoor solar intensity, something like that. And then food production, and we do the economic analysis. And from this technology, we get the data to become a community database. We would like to use this as big data to analyze our community, which is the CMGC. In our terminology, the smart community should be a sustainable cycle for the low carbon community in terms of the energy, food, residential, economic, and environment. So for the next slide, I will show you the focusing on the residential area of the CMGC. So in the CMGC, all the building is the energy efficiency building, and all the you cannot see the same shape, you know, within the different buildings. So all building they're gonna have their unique architectural appearance. So this one we call the birdhouse is the energy efficient building. We use the polystyrene foam to make it to be an energy efficiency house. And also this is our conference room. We call the natural material conference room. The roof made of the local leaf, and then the lock used as the column. But unfortunately now it's gone with the big storm a couple years ago. This is the last house. This is student housing. The last house we built in the CMGC, because when we built other building, we have the leftover of the construction material. So we put it together to become a reused material house. So this is the last one before we open the CMGC, made of the reused material from the other house. This is our classroom. You see we have at least a 270-degree to see the greenery scenes when you study. So we hope that it's going to make the student happy when they study in the academic class. This is the data that we collected. I told you before, we monitor the power consumption, we monitor power production from the PV, we monitor power usage, we monitor the fuel of the used in our vehicle when we travel, and then this is the waste production that we have the smart bin that can record it and then report it, the waste production per day of the individual type of waste. Okay, other interesting project that we have is this hybrid solar dryer with the LPG backup, because in the Thailand, sometime in the rainy season, you cannot use the solar dryer, right? Because it's no sunlight. So we combine the solar dryer with the LPG. So you can use 24/7, 365, because if you don't have the sunlight, you can use the LPG to back up for the heating purpose. We also have the recycled plastic load. This is the plastic load. This is the road in the CMGC that we use the 2 million of the waste plastic bag to construct, to be part of the material to construct the 2 kilometer of the asphalt road in the Chiang Mai World Green City. So this is a carbon fixation to the earth, and to help to be a model road to help to decrease the environmental issue. And the property of the road is identical to the road that use the petroleum based alphatic road. Okay, in summary, we are an academic college, so we use our project to develop the CMGC to being the learning and the training center for everyone. So we want to promote the renewable energy for the local community and integrate with the resource way of living. The real implementation to the community cannot just rely on the technology, but we must use the interdisciplinary expertise, both the science, social science, to promote it to the community. So we want to move forward by educating and the capacity building for the community, as well as the other renewable and energy based knowledge. So go to the wrap up of my presentation. Do Chiang Mai World Green City CMGC follow the water energy food nexus concept? Actually, the WEF or the water energy food nexus concept is one criteria or one philosophy that we consider when we develop the CMGC. So this is the linkage that we cover in the CMGC. We have the energy for water, such as solar pumping, biomass water heating system. We have the energy for food, such as the smart farm using solar cell, biomass stove, biogas for cooking. We have the food for energy, biogas from food waste and livestock manure, gasifier for the agricultural residue and the yard waste, and so smart farm to decrease the water requirement in the irrigation. Okay, I think that's my last slide. Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chayanon. You're on time. So you're on time. So we have plenty of time for discussion. I think there is this. Okay. So we have plenty time for discussion. So we already have two keynote presentations. First is from Dr. Shafaruddin, the Center for Estate Crop Research and Development, Ministry of Agriculture. Sustainable plantation development, and already presented how coconut so on. And the second presenter is Dr. Chayanon from Chiang Mai Harvard University, with an interesting presentation. The title Water, Food, Energy, Nexus, is by the Chiang Mai World Green City. Crisis of energy supply, cycle, and sustainable region of agriculture, village, and city, and we will have time for discussion and question and answers. Basically, so we have set for a bit of time, and we can start question and answers. And please, the participants, to write your questions either to the first presenter, Dr. Shafaruddin, that will be presented by his team, Dr. Farida, and also Dr. Saifuddin, yes, but Dr. Saifuddin also had his question. So I think it's good for our discussion. And also the question for Dr. Chayanon. So I give, first I would like to read the question. I think this is for the discussion. And I would like to be responded by the team of Dr. Shafaruddin. The question from Dr. Saifuddin, which we usually call him Asai. What superior technology does the plantation research and development sector have, especially in coffee and cacao? I think that's the first question, and I would like to get a response from please. Okay, the time.
Okay, but I'm so sorry. Your voice is not clear, so yeah. The first can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm really sorry. As behalf of Dr. Safaruddin, because he has to leave this conference because he has some meeting. So let me to help to answer the question for Mr. Sai. Let me introduce myself. Myself is Farida. I also from Estate Research and Development Center, Ministry of Agriculture. So, okay, thank you for the question. I would like to answer the question as best as I know. For the tutorial technology, we have been developing some technology in order to increase productivity and added value of crop plantation, especially coffee and cocoa, including obtaining superior varieties of plantation crops that are adaptive in the community, furthermore with release of variety and provision of seeds. And we also have been increasing the productivity of cocoa and coffee through the utilization of mycorrhiza application of biofertilizer as Pakuan biofertilizer, which contain phosphate solubilizing microbes. And also we already have been developing biopesticide like Bio3P and Bionema as a biological control to control pest and disease of cocoa, coffee, and other crop plantation. And we also have been processing of coffee and cocoa by maintaining and enriching bioactive compounds. And also facing the biopesticide and biofertilizer product like we already mentioned as Bionema and Bio3C, not only for cocoa and coffee, but we can use this technology for the other crop plantation. Maybe this is my answering for the question of Mr. Sai. And continue for the other question, or we need to respond for Mr. Sai first? Or continue for the second question.
Yes. The second question is from Dr. Elsera Indonesia, from Indonesia. To Dr. Safarudin also.
Okay, this is about the rule biotechnology. What is the role of biotechnology? Okay. The role of biotechnology in the development of plant technology innovation is of course important because biotechnology is integrated from many varieties to solve many agricultural challenges by discovering many important technology innovation. So to achieve this, it is really
Still unmute, Ibu.
Ibu Farida, please turn on the mic.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So can I start the answer for the second question about the role of biotechnology in development of plantation technology innovation is really so important because biotechnology is integrated from many varieties of knowledge to solve many agricultural challenges by discovering many plantation technology innovation. So to achieve this innovation, we need any interdisciplinary approach to problem solving and like knowledgement of environmental, business, computer science, biology, engineering, or system modeling to collectively work together on real agricultural challenges. Because by integrating and adapting this knowledge from different disciplines, novel solution to complex problems can be achieved. Okay, maybe this is my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Farida.
You're welcome.
I think that's a good response to the question. There are two questions for please reduce the echo. Okay, thank you very much. There's two questions. There's two questions for Dr. Shafaruddin that has been responded very good by Dr. Farida. Thank you very much. And there is one question, at least, to Dr. Kayanon. The question is from Dr. Tuhumuri of Patimura University. If you are using the leaves or natural material or biomass for the material of the building, whether it will.
Sorry, please repeat again because I think the moderator is to turn off your mic, right?
Okay. The question is from Dr. Tuhumuri of Patimura University. If you use the leaves or natural material biomass for the material of building, will it be destructive to the environment? So what is the benefit of using biomass for building material? Thank you.
Actually, we didn't cut down the tree and use as a material for the building. So majority the tree that they cutting down because they built the campus of the Chiang Mai Ratchapat University. So we just use them as the how to say minor material. It's not a major one. Minor material for produce it, and but the for the major one we also buy it from the shop. But especially the biomass, majority we use the residue, agricultural residue, leaf or some dying tree to produce the energy. That's the main role of the biomass. It's not for construction. Yes, that's my quick answer.
Thank you for the question. So basically, it's like not going to use the biomass as the major, like majority of the biomass, but only use in a minor quantity. Thank you.
Just for decoration.
There will be one. There will be one more question to Dr. Chayanon. That is from Dr. Nus Talakwa of the Patimura University, and he will state the question directly. Please, the time is given to Dr. Nus Talakwa.
Thank you, Mr. Raharjo, as a moderator. Mr. Chayanon,
yeah.
How are you today? My voice is clear? Can you hear my voice?
Yep, sure. Clearly.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We can meet in the small island in Maluku province and a time. You can come to Indonesia, Maluku province. I give my one visions. In small island, we have a limited land. So all activity, example, agriculture activity, forestry activity, or minor activity. Now, secondly, we have a problem, public welfare or income problem of community. Now, on one side, we had natural resources, example mining. And on the other hand, we have land to agriculture activity. But consequently, if we exploitation of land resources, example mining, we have land degradation is very hard, very high. But the other hand, if we give the agriculture potential, we have the fine to income community, but in the time of long time. Now, can you explain if what the best choice, which we can choose one exploitation of natural resources, or we stay on agriculture activity about the environment require cost in small island. You can explain we and me in the small island about your experience to manage your green city.
Yeah. All right. So thank you very much for the question. So actually, the sorry, did you finish it? Yeah. Okay. So actually, the case of the island is pretty similar to the where I get my PhD, which is University of Hawaii. They are the island. Okay. So we have at that time we have talked about a lot about either the energy security, food security. Before they have limitation of land, that's a problem. And majority, but there is difference in Hawaii. The majority of lands go to the tourists, right? Tourist spot. To answer your question, I think you might need to optimize the benefit from your resource. You know what I'm saying? So with the one resource, if you do the conventional way, you might get, let's say, a 10. You might need to find the right technology to convert the same resource to be 20 or to be 30. This is what we talk in the Hawaii. But in the Chiang Mai World Green City, we also try to make it to be the decentralized community. Decentralized community. Because at that time it's very funny. So the first concept that we talk is that okay, if we have something happen and then we need to stay in the CMGC for like a month, can we do it without any help or anything from the outside? So that become the resort optimization. So that's why become the balance between the food, the water, the energy together. We try to optimize a thing that we have in the Chiang Mai World Green City to make, optimize the benefit from them by using the right affordable technology. Affordable technology. That so in your specific case, I cannot say that you should stay on the agriculture or you should do something. But the one thing that I can give you a big picture is that try to optimize the natural resource that you have it to make more benefit by using the right technology, green technology. Yeah. Hope I answer your question.
Thank you, Mr. Chayanon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chayanon, for the explanation. I think that's very clear. I don't see any other question in the chat room. But the time is still available, so I will use my opportunity to have a question for discussion. First, Mr. Shafarudin, very simple question. What is the policy of the estate crop center with the development of the crop in small islands like Maluku and provinces that have small islands.
Sorry, I cannot hear the voice clearly.
Okay, I'm sorry. Every time there is a automatic unmute, so I'm sorry about that. So the question, my first question is for Dr. Shafarudin. Very simple question. Probably Bu Ida or Pak Sai can respond. What is the policy of estate crop center for the small islands like Maluku and other provinces with small islands? That's my first question. The second question is for Dr. Chayanon, whether it is possible for us to visit to your institution. Especially we are interested in like integration between agriculture and bioenergy and sustainable management. I think that's very simple question. Thank you very much. First, please, from the estate crop to respond.
Okay, I will let Mr. Asif to help me to answer the question about the policy for the small island. Mr. Asif, can you help me to answer this question? Or Mr. Saifuddin? Because I just want to tell you my skill in microbiology, in biotechnology and bioenergy. So maybe about the policy, Mr. Saifuddin can help me to answer this question.
Especially for Mr. Asif. Mr. Asif, please, your answer. Mr. Asif.
Probably before the answer of the first question.
Please, yes, please, Mr. Asif, Pak Simon.
Okay, thank you for the,
yes, please.
The answer, question.
Mute Mas, suaranya Mas.
Hello, tes. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Hello, tes. Okay. Thank you. For the policy for the small island, we know that small island have their their unique characteristic in those islands. So for the development in the small island will be based on the superior variety in those islands. So so basically if the in the for the Nusa Tenggara, as Nusa Tenggara, they has the candle nut oil, which is best has local variety in there. So in this area will be developed for the development for the candle nut, for example. But for Maluku, I didn't know the best commodity in there. So basically, if for in my knowledge, in the future the development of estate crop is based on the
There is problem. Okay, maybe I will add the answer about the this is depend on the
Sure,
island.
please.
Yeah, maybe this is depend on the island. So this island maybe have unique crops. So from this unique crops can develop the technology. For example, in Sulawesi, for example, we have palm oil, so we can use the biomass of palm oil to produce the value added like aromatic compound, or we can use as bioenergy. So maybe we can develop the technology depend on the unique crop in this island. Okay, yeah, this can help to answer the question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ida. The second question, probably the response from Dr. Chayanon, please.
Yeah, I think we are very happy to welcome. We have a lot of the foreigners and our alliance university come visiting us. Either they some UPM, University of Putra Malaysia, they send the student to do a summer course in the CMTC. And also for Indonesia, we have the friend from University such as UGM in the UGM. They also send the staff for visiting in the CMTC. So CMTC is really warm welcome people from all around the world to visit, and then we are free to do a collaboration or to do if you have the interesting the topic or training or research, we are happy to do that. But after COVID, okay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chayanon.
Yeah, thank you.
And also thank you very much to Dr. Safarudin from Food Estate of Indonesia for the good presentation. And also the team of Dr. Safarudin, Ibu Ida, Ibu Bapak Sai, Bapak Asif, dan lain-lain, who has also supported this good discussion of this first and second presentation in the first session of this keynote presentation. Thank you very much. So we can go to the second program, actually the break. So we have many. So basically, we have 45 minutes ahead of time that we can save, so we can have a little bit longer break, and then probably the second session of the keynote speakers will be started at 2:30. 2:30 of Eastern Indonesian time. Thank you very much again to the plenary or keynote speakers, and we can proceed to the break time, and the time I give back to the committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a sign of gratitude, we will give certificate for Chafarudin, PhD, and Dr. J. Sawadi Nawar. Please give a big round of applause for our
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please give a round of applause for the speakers.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we will have a break for 30 minutes, and after that, we will continue our session with the other two invited speakers. I repeat, we will have a break for 30 minutes, And then after that, we will continue our session with the other two invited speakers. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please take your time. Thank you.
Sabar.
dansa dengan dansa baik-baik, jangan sampai latagai. Kalau sampai latagai, lari kawin lebih baik. Oleh sio sayangi. Balenga patatanjo beta dansa dengan dansa baik-baik, jangan sampai lari kawin lebih baik. Jangan sampai latagai, kalau sampai latagai, lari kawin lebih baik. Oleh sio sayangi, la rasa sayang, sayang badani.
Balenga Patan Tanjung Sio Balenga Lumbusi Marilah beta gendo, beta kawin dengan si kawin bye-bye, jangan sampai bakalan, kalau sampai bakalan gendong dia lebih baik. Oleh sio sayangi. Pakai payung teteruga batalo, nona dari Ambon datang kawin di kawin bye-bye, kawin bye-bye, jangan sampai bakalan, kalau sampai bakalan gendong dia lebih baik. Oleh sio sayangi.
vie, c'est the old folks that go to show you never. To the rain, the scram, the TV dinner and ginger ale. When Pierre von Berg, a little money coming work out well. C'est la vie, c'est the old folks that go to show you never can tell. They had a high-fee phone, old bar, and they let it blast. 700 new records, all about rhythm dance. When the sun went down, the rapid tempo of the music fell. C'est la vie, said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. They bought a small gin and rabbits be free. To celebrate the anniversary. Who's better together than so lovely mademoiselle? C'est la vie, said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. It was a teenage wedding and well, you can see that the end is true. He said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. C'est la vie, said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. Batulah bertangkis, buka mulutmu, telankan beta, sio, buka sedangkan mama sudah tak ada, sio, sedangkan
Batu bata.
I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you loved me as long as you wanted, and then someday you leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Oh, I'm crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, I'm crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
Thank you very much, committee. I think there is still something. Yes, the
presentation by speakers, speakers, and there is one from Dr. Sota Yamamoto, and the second one is from Dr. Samuel Levna. I would like to introduce Dr. Sota Yamamoto is from Fukushima University. He's associated with the Center for Island Studies and is focused on the integration of art and science and many applications. And
some are published with co-author with staff from also this education is from Kyoto University and the record like this.
Simon, could you turn on your microphone?
Okay, thank you very much. So I think let me handle with the Thank you very much. I'm sorry. So this session first from Kagoshima University is associated with the Center for Island Studies and focused on
Sound clear.
islands.
Not clear.
Can you hear my okay. This is mic. Sound is better. Yeah. Session. Two speakers versus Dr. Sotaya from University. The second one is Shen Mel from University. First, I would like to introduce Dr. Sotaya. He is from Kagoshima University, associated with the Center for Island Studies. And the focus of this study is integration of art and science. And it will be presented with the title of Food and on ethno peppers in Maluku province, Indonesia. So time is yours, Dr. Sotaya Mamuto-san.
Okay, thank you very much. So my name is Sotaya Mamuto from Kagoshima University. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Yes, please.
So thank you very much for invited. I'm very honored to be invited to this conference. So, and I really thank all the committee members of this conference. Thank you very much. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint. So today's topic, food and energy in Micronesia. Actually, especially food. And if I have time, I would like to introduce my ethnobotanical survey of chili peppers in Maluku province. So first, I'd like to introduce my research site. So here, Seram Island and Ambon here, and Federated States of Micronesia, it's this area. And I often go to Chuk Atoll and also this Peace Panel Island. This island is very small, so the land is less than 1 square kilometer, very small island. And you know, from the satellite image, so the house is scattered, and this is church, and this is elementary school. This island maybe around 300 people live here. And this is the island, very flat island. So the land is maybe only 2 or 3 meters, and all the like coconut trees or breadfruit trees there. So first about infrastructure, actually this island, no water supply system, no gas supply system, and no electric power facilities. So for example, rainwater for drinking water, cooking, well water for bathing, washing, and no gas or other branches for fuel. And sometimes they use gas cartridge stove or kerosene stove for cooking. And so no electric power facilities, but actually they use cell phone, HP. So gasoline driven generator or solar panels, some household has these facilities. So so you see, so they have to gather the rainwater from the roof to the water tank for drinking or cooking. And also they use well, so for bathing or washing. And they use coconut husk or like branches for fuel. So sometimes kids collect branches for their fuels. But sometimes they use like this gas cartridge, like a stove or kerosene stove for cooking. It means this island, so about energy, of course, if they want to charge their hand phone, cell phone, they have to buy gasoline and use a gasoline like generator. But usually they don't need any like facilities, just they can get natural resources. Then about food. So in the 1950s, people in the Federated States of Micronesia ate traditional diet like a breadfruit, root and tuber crops, banana, and marine resources. But it began to be replaced by a diet rich in rice, the imported one, rice, flour, sugar, fatty food, and other imported and processed foods, after the United States Department of Agriculture started its supplementary feeding program in the 1960s. This phenomenon accelerated after a compact of free association was signed between the FSM and the United States in 1986. But then, do they eat really non-traditional food? Actually, there are no reports of dietary patterns for the long term. So I conducted food consumption survey on Peace Panel Island of Chuk Atoll, Chuk State. So this is main crop, local one in the island. Maybe people in Maluku, you familiar with breadfruit and banana and root and tuber crops. So breadfruits, just they peel the skin and just cooked. And also on the island, there is a variety with seeds of breadfruit. And also sometimes they make a pounded, like it's a kind of cake. So cooked like breadfruit, and they pound. And they make a very sticky one. And they make with coconut milk. They eat very delicious one. And also breadfruit is a seasonal crops. So sometimes they make preserved breadfruit. Traditionally, they dig the ground and they preserve under the ground, but now they use like a plastic, like a container and ferment it. And this is giant swamp taro and like colocasia or xanthosoma. So these tuber and root crops they use. And also banana is very important for them as a starch crop. But also they use imported like rice and flour, making bread or pancake. But they have to buy in the main island of this Chuk state. So if they have income, they can buy these imported crops. And marine resources, fish, sometimes coconut clubs, land clubs, lobsters, many kind of shell meat they use. And also they eat sea turtle, like same as in Maluku, and they eat using the hot rocks like a earth oven, and they really love to eat sea turtles. And also about meat, local one, it's pig, chicken, and also they eat dog. And sometimes they eat wild bird. But sometimes they buy instant noodles or canned meat or canned fish. And this is totally just imported food or meal. Then a huge typhoon hit this island at the end of March 2015. So I would like to reveal effects of the big typhoon on dietary patterns of people on Pispaneo Island by comparing food consumption before and after the typhoon. So it's like a food security. Before the typhoon, so this is fruit trees. So the island covered by many trees, but after the huge typhoon, breadfruit tree just cut down or lay down. And also some houses were destroyed by the high tide wave. So it was a very huge typhoon. Then this is a method, just one household was selected to survey dietary patterns. So maybe I say frequency, it means, for example, if you eat rice in the morning and you don't eat rice at lunch and dinner, the frequency is 33.3. So because one time for 3 times, so frequency is 33.3. Then this is rice consumption. So from 2013 to 2017. So before this one typhoon hit. So before the typhoon, rice consumption was just fluctuated because it depends on the income of the household. But after the typhoon, rice was equally distributed to the villagers by foreign aid. So every meal they eat rice. So the frequency of imported rice consumption ranges from 60 to 100 per month before the typhoon. But after the typhoon, rice was equally distributed to all the villages by foreign aids from 2015 May to 2016 February. Therefore, the household consumed rice almost every day at every meal during that time. How about the breadfruit? So before the typhoon, breadfruit is seasonal crop. So sometimes they can eat, usually summertime is a good season for the breadfruit. And then also they use the preserved fruit in the winter. But after the typhoon, they cannot use breadfruit at all first. And then 2016, a little bit they can use, but still not good. And 2017, it's coming better, but consumption its frequency still low. So the frequencies of breadfruit consumption ranged from like a 16 to 77 per month due to the seasonality of breadfruit before the typhoon. But the frequency of breadfruit consumption in 2015 and 2016 seemed to be slightly higher in September and December 2015 and June to September 2016 compared to the other months after the typhoon, but the frequency was still much lower than the normal level. So then 2017, the frequency reached a normal level from June to August, like a summertime, but annual average was still half. These results reveal that the typhoon had a large negative impact on the production of breadfruit on Pispaneo Island, and the frequency of breadfruit consumption did not return to normal level even 3 years after the typhoon. So this is how about banana? And banana after the typhoon, like a breadfruit, so they cannot use banana because many banana tree plants were damaged, but not like breadfruit. Banana recovery very quickly compared to the breadfruit. So 16 they can use a little bit, and 17 much better because they cannot use the breadfruits, so they use banana more before the typhoon. So the frequency of banana consumption in 2015 became significantly lower after the typhoon, although less damage occurred to banana plants compared to breadfruit trees. The household did not have to eat bananas because they have sufficient rice supplied by the foreign aid. But in 2016, the frequency of eating banana returned to normal, partly because of the faster recovery of banana production compared to the breadfruit. And the frequency of banana consumption increased in 2017. So this is a root and tuber crops, giant swamp taro. So this is okay after the typhoon. So after the typhoon, they cannot use breadfruit or banana. So the frequency of use like these taras increase. So the frequency of atuna, this is a taras consumption in 2015, 16, 17 increased slightly compared to those in before the typhoon, probably due to the lack of breadfruit and bananas after the typhoon. So after the rationing program, so distributed the rice equally to the villagers was terminated, the people of Pispaneo Island tend to eat more bananas and giant swamp taro because of an insufficient supply of breadfruit. So this study revealed that the huge typhoon had a large negative impact on crop production, particularly breadfruit, on a small island in Micronesia, and the frequency of breadfruit consumption did not return to normal for almost 3 years after the typhoon. Then, if foreign aid had not implemented the rational program, the people of Pispaneo Island would have run short of food due to the insufficiency of breadfruit and bananas. So, farming food such as alocasia and taka are available on this island, but some younger people do not know how to prepare those foods. So this is alocasia. So if you eat directly, just only cook, very itchy one. So they have to remove the poisonous, like itchy, like one. So first, they peel the skin of the tuber root, and then grind it. They squeeze. So they use this one and also this like a starch, and then they put in the banana leaf, then boil. So this one, so they have the technique how to remove the itchy one, but actually some younger people that don't know how to remove this itchiness. So this is a very delicious like alocasia food. Then also they can use taka, but now almost nobody uses taka in this island. But actually, the Karimun Jawa Islands, Central Java, Indonesia, they have taka, like this is a root part, and they grind it and make like a starch. So this is, it would be a good farming food for the small island, especially very, very small island. But now many people forget how to use taka in Micronesia. So it is clearly necessary to manage these like farming food plants consistently and to pass traditional knowledge of farming foods to the next generation as a precaution for food shortage caused by typhoons or other natural disasters. So maybe still I have time. So maybe I would like to introduce my ethnobotanical survey of chili peppers, chabe, ato chili di Maluku. So this is my favorite food in Ambon, papeda and ikan kuah kuning. So all of you know how to use chili peppers because just spice. So ikan bakar, sambal or choro choro. I really love this sauce. So I would like to introduce, so actually I went to many islands of Maluku with Professor Walter Gilson, Faculty of Agriculture at Timura University. So we just go around the islands and survey about chili peppers. Then maybe you know how to use chili peppers. So just other uses. For example, with sageru, palm wine or sopi. I really like to drink sageru, so I really want to go back to Ambon to drink sageru. So palm wine made from like fermented sap of flower buds of palms, such as Alega pinnata, or coconut or Borassus spp, and also palm liquor made from in Maluku. Maybe many people, all of you knows it. But some people, squash fruits are placed in the palm wine or liquor before drinking to make the sweet palm wine or palm wine spicier and stronger taste. So if you put the fruit chili, you feel a little bit strong and spicy because sometimes palm wine is too sweet. Or some people also add squashed fresh fruit into overnight palm wine, which is a little sour taste. Or about leaves. Actually, chili leaves, we can eat as a vegetable, but among 73 interviewees, only 14 indicated that they still use chili leaves as vegetables. This percentage is very few people eat chili peppers in Maluku province compared to like a Cambodia or Philippines or Federated States of Micronesia. And also the frequency of leaf use was also much lower compared to those in countries and areas mentioned above. So the indigenous peoples of Taiwan used to add chili leaves to gruel or soups as a vegetable, but today the leaves are really used because other vegetables can be bought at the market. So maybe less use of leaves related to modernization, or in the Karimun Jawa Islands, only 34% of the interviewees still eat chili leaves, and frequency of leaf consumption was also low. So I'm not sure now, but using chili leaves as a vegetable is not popular in Indonesia. I am not sure now, but there is some hypothesis. And chili also used as medical medicine. So among 73 interviewees, 40 said that chili leaves are used to whistle boils. So this remedy is very familiar in Asia, like Oceanian small islands area. Also, 14 people mentioned that chili fruits are used to treat wounds, including dog bites or snake bites. 8 people reported that chili fruits or leaves are used to treat toothache or toothache. And also about ritual use of chili peppers. Chili fruits attached to the tips of sticks are put on roofs or the ground to stop or prevent the rain events. Or chili fruit are burned to remove snakes from roofs or field, as it is so that the snake will leave because of the chili smoke. So I would like to say thank you to the artist and all the staff members, agriculture and students of Patimura University. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Professor Tayo Muto, very good presentation. Later, after the second keynote speaker, we will have opportunity to some discussion for question and answer. The second keynote speaker in this second session, Dr. Samuel Leu. This from the Faculty of Agriculture, Patimura University, and was graduated the master's degree from University of Guelph in Canada, and PhD from IMA in Germany, and he's got many publications related to genetic research of sugar crops, and also did some research on conservation, conservation of sugar crop and other crop, and also later he has published many publications, and the last one related to genetic research, including banana, crop, and others. And I think we will have a quick presentation from him. The title is Genetic Diversity for Food Security. It is Maluku Island, Indonesia. And we have 30 minutes of this presentation. The time is yours, Dr.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Simon Rahajo. Yeah. Could you make me a host so that I can share my my slides, Pamon, or should I? Yeah. I would like to share my slides from here, but I'm not able to do it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you especially for the colleagues, the committee who have organized this webinar very well. And also for having me here as one of the speakers. It's a pleasure and it's also an honor to be here. I also want to say hi to Professor Sota Yamamoto. We met when he has his research visit in Maluku Island. So it's good to see you again, Professor Sota. Yes, now I can able to do that. So ladies and gentlemen, let's begin with my presentation today. The title is Genetic Diversity for Food Security, taking the case of Maluku Island, or we can say also Maluku Province. So this is the outline of my talk, but we are not going to discuss the outline. We will be moving directly to the presentation. To begin with, I would like to quote given by Mr. Bill Gates. I'm sure people know who Mr. Bill Gates is. He indicated something in the regarding the food security. So if we want to ensure our food security in the future, he said there have to be innovations guided by smallholder farmers, those who work in the villages, and it's of course adapted to the circumstances where they are, and it should be also sustainable, providing them with profit continuously, and sustainable in terms of environment as well. So this is one of the justification of my talk today. What is food security? Many definitions have been proposed, have been given. In every time they emphasis on some certain factors. I'm providing the definition formulated during the World Food Summit in 1996. So food security is the condition where all people and at all time have physical and economic access to sufficient and safe, nutritious food. So they have to be able to purchase. They have the purchasing ability, and also the food should be there in their location. Otherwise, it can be also transported in the area, and to meet their dietary needs and food preferences. This is also indicated that there have to be many different choices, not only one type of food. Some people need more protein, others need vitamins, others need fat also. Some people prefer to eat tuber crops, others prefer to eat rice. And so food security itself is not only related to food, but it's said to be a multidimensional phenomenon. And it is related also to the, let's say, the food chain, a value chain of the product, of the food, right from the field down to the market, to the consumer, to the recycling of the waste after use. It's also related to climatic, where climate variability determine the ups and downs of the production, as well as also health status. As we are now in the condition of COVID-19 pandemic, it is highly necessary to have this. It should be free from viruses, free from fungi, free from bacteria, and free from dirt also. And it's also related to export-import, for example. Some countries have high stability on food security. The others are lacking the food security. So those countries with high or stable food security then will export some of those food to the countries where food security is a problem. We can move on. Is it possible? So what do we learn from pandemic COVID-19? I think the previous one, we are still discussing the previous one. Again, the previous one. Can we go back? Go back, 2 slides back. Please, one more. We are still discussing. Okay. Yes. One more ahead. I'm going to this. Can you let me do it? So that I can. Please let me do the sharing. So that I can change the slide continuously. So in this slide, I would like to discuss the impact of COVID pandemic-19 or pandemic COVID-19 to the changing of some aspect of life. as we know that all governments in the world have to implement certain protocols, protocol of locking down the countries, locking down the regions, locking down the cities, protocol of preventing the mass gathering, suggestion of staying home or washing our hands or taking a distance from one another. And these protocols have also caused their implementation have caused also some changes in the concerning the food security. There are cancellation of the agreements. For example, the Indonesia and Saudi Arabia have an agreement that Indonesia will send or will export about 100 million tons, 1,000 tons of rice to Saudi Arabia, but this has to be cancelled because of the lockdown in Saudi Arabia. And at the same time, also the policy to meet the countries needed in Indonesia. There is also reduction in food distribution, so food price become increased because agriculture activities are ceased, as well the transportation are also restricted, air transportation, land transportation, sea transportation. Marketing system also become changed, yeah. Rather than visiting supermarket or visiting markets, people rely more on the Gojek, for example. They will be waiting at home. They call Gojek. Gojek will go buy food and they bring it home with a price that is slightly higher than normal. So what we learn from this situation is that to ensure our food security is to produce our own food from our local resources, using our labors and also the technologies that we have, or in the policy term, they call it food self-help or food sovereignty, which means we determine what kind of food do we grow and not rely on other or outside opinion or outside demand. Now we want to discuss a bit about the policy on the food profession in Indonesia. By experience, we know that rice has been, from many, many years, Indonesia has been dependent on rice as the main staple food in Indonesia. Yeah. Especially during the era of New Order, when President General Suharto was in power, rice were highly intensified and extensified. Many varieties were introduced to the country, tested and recommended to the farmers to be grown. Irrigation systems were established. Yeah. Government employee also receive rice every month as part of their wages. Yeah. Maluku itself is not a community of rice culture. Yeah. We rely on other crops. However, through the transmigrations, we know our brothers and sisters from Java and from Sulawesi, rice now, Maluku has been one of the highest producing area of rice in the country. Only a couple of years ago, the Vice Ministry of Agriculture went to Buru and opened the biggest harvest of rice. And he also promised that time to open about 1 million hectares of rice. Yeah. Rice consumption in Maluku province is also very high now. Yeah. Despite the demand of the communities, specifically scientific communities, and also, of course, communities of the islands, to develop the local potential food communities, because these local communities have supporting their life for years and through generations. So the aim of my discussion today is to discuss food security in terms of continuation of agricultural activities by way of conserving the local genetic diversity, and therefore to preserve, to ensure the food security in the future.
Excuse me, Mr. Semi.
Yes, sir.
Can you give a slide for one slide?
Okay, well. This one?
Not yet.
Is it possible to
Yes, this one.
show a full screen of the presentation, please?
Yeah. Okay. I will end it. Oh, sorry. You want to say something about this? Comments also? Yeah.
Not yet, Mr.
Okay. So I can move on, yeah? Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, let's move on with the presentation. So how about Maluku? Yeah. Maluku province for many, many years has been one of the very poor province, the poorest province in Indonesia, yeah, among 34 provinces. This data, of course, indicating that there are many occasions, many cases of food insecurity, and yeah, even they are also a case where there is a vulnerability to food insecurity in many villages, as well as in also many different regencies. This data, of course, is not measuring only the income of the community, not only how much we receive per month or $1 or $2, but it's also measured the educational quality as well as the health condition of the community. This data is also from many people or the number of communities is also understandable because it's the islands condition have imposed many obstacles or many challenges in implementing government policies in the islands of Maluku. However, we are also surprised how can a province so rich in natural diversity, as mentioned by Panus previously, become so poor in a statistic. So when we look at Maluku Islands, we can make a distinction between two different areas. Northern part of Maluku, northern part, what I mean is the islands of Seram, Buru, and Saparua Islands, Ambon Island, Banda Islands. This area, in terms of genetic diversity, based on the climatic conditions given by Oldeman et al. Systems, can be or have very diverse genetic resources or natural resources, including food crops. So they have 7 to 9 wet months in a year and less than 2 months in a year, or based on the Oldeman agroclimatic zone is called B1. The others are also with 6 wet months and less than 2 dry months, per year. So these are the diversity of food crops. The pictures are taken from traditional market, the main traditional market in Ambon Island, Mardika market. So we can see some diversity in the food crops, and many of them have been listed here. We also publish it. Professor Evans from UBC and I published it in the Journal of Marine and Island Culture. These crops include Dioscorea, Tania, Colocasia, sweet potatoes, corn, breadfruit, sago, and many others. Vegetables include bitter cucumber, water spinach, cucumber, eggplants, tomatoes, and many others. The spices and medicinals, include garlic, for example, chili pepper, ginger, curcuma. Fruit trees are usually coming in season, durian, Garcinia mangostana, mangestan, kokosan, and snake fruit, and many others. And the second part that's quite different from the previous one, or from the north part of Maluku, is the southeast part of Maluku. In this area, the islands are scattered quite far away from each other, and they possess the climatic conditions which are very less number of wet months in a year and quite high number of wet months, dry months in a year. So according to agroclimatic zones given by Oldeman et al. In 1980. So these agroclimatic conditions have also given the uniqueness, also different kinds of diversity and uniqueness of the biodiversity and as well as the food crops in the area. We can see here Kisar citrus, which is genetic resources only exist in Kisar, or Koli palm. Moa buffalo is, they're living in the small area of savanna created by specific agroclimatic conditions. And it is specific genetic resources they're not present in any other part in the world. People rely on the corn, and corn is grown in the multiple cropping system with cassava, with the long bean, as well as curbits. Yeah, there is also grasshopper attacking the crops, groundnuts, beans, lesser yam or the Scorea esculenta, as well as Artocarpus integra, breadfruit. So those are, this also again the list of the some crops that I've mentioned previously. And we also can mention Kisar sheep, for example, which are specific genotype or specific genetic resources living in the area, or Leti goat. Those are this diversity among the species. Now, when we come down, looking at the crops, diversity within a species, we can see from banana, for example, banana has 37 genotypes spread around Seram Island. In Ambon Island, we can find, the research have found 20 genotypes. Our study in the Mardika market, again, the main traditional market in Ambon Island, 17 genotypes are sold every day in the market. One or two probably sometimes, someday may be absent from the market, but 15 of them almost, we can find them if we go to the market right now. For the Diascorea, more than 100 cultivars can be found in Maluku Islands. 40 of them were discovered or collected from Yambena Island when we did surveys there. In Seram and Ambon and K Islands, we can find about 70 cultivars. For other tuber crops, taro, cocoa, yam, sweet potato, I haven't found data indicating how many cultivars or genotypes distributed in Maluku. But if we look at the diversity of tuber size, tuber shapes, and also colors, we can see that there are many cultivars. The cultivation of these tuber crops are also quite unique. The community, usually in the small islands near Yamdena, that's Selaro Island, for example, they usually stay in the wilderness for almost every day in a week. Only they come down to the village 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, for prayers, and then they go back to their garden in the wild to take care of the tuber crops. At the harvest time, they ship them to Ambon Island and sell them near the street, somewhere near Natsepa, if you know their location. For corn, there are 50 genotypes identified by Pesoreron and friends. They were from the Institution of Agricultural Technology Assessment in Maluku. The differences in these genotypes can be seen from endosperm color, hilum color, seed shapes, and many other characters. So those we have seen the diversity among the species and within the species. Now we will see what has been developed for the food crops, using the government funding, by the responsible institution in Maluku. Only 10, there are 10 species are being developed every season, every year. So this is irrigated paddy, irrigated rice, and this is again rain-fed rice, corn, cassava, sweet potato, groundnuts, and green beans, soya beans. So with the highest production is shown by irrigated paddy, irrigated rice, and also because of the higher cultivation area. These are at the provincial level. Now we look at the data at the regency level, 2 regency levels in Southeast Maluku, MBD, MBD, which is Southwest Maluku and Southeast West Maluku, MTB. The same kind of species also cultivated, rain-fed rice, corn, again, the same thing. And now they also add tuber crops. With tuber crops, we know that there are more than 100 cultivars distributed in Maluku Islands that supporting the life of the community in the islands. But only tuber crops, the name was only tuber crops. With the cultivation area is 400 something, very less area of cultivation. And of course, the production is also very small. So what is going on then with the other cultivars? If you cultivate one cultivar, then what's going on with the other 90 cultivars of yams, or maybe 49 cultivars of corn, or and many other diversity? They are also only been taken care by the farmers, and not by government funding. So this, when we leave these crops unattended, and what happened is they will be going extinct. There will be genetic erosions within and between species. Genetic erosion is the irreversible and irretrievable loss of the genetic resources. And this evidence, we can see it, for example, on Dioscorea, a survey done by Bogor Agricultural University in 1978. They found eight species distributed in Maluku Islands. Our survey in 10 years later, we found only 5 species. Which means 3 species has been eroded. And within these 5 species, only 2 species having 50 cultivars under them, which is Dioscorea alata and Dioscorea esculenta. Other 3 different species only have 1 cultivar, Dioscorea hispida, Dioscorea pentaphylla, and Dioscorea bulbifera. So this is indication of the loss of genetic diversity within and between species. What is the cost of the genetic erosion? A couple of reasons have been mentioned here, have been written here. Climate change, causing the prolonged dry season. This is the case in Leyte Island. The farmers in Leyte Island have caused the harvest failure of corn. And also farmers, because of the lacking the food, they consume the seeds that is preserved for the next planting season. And also lots of fertile lands of agriculture, the movement of people, people inhabit the islands, building of the infrastructure, have caused many agriculture or fertile lands disappear. Pests and diseases we have seen in the picture. Lack of knowledge in conservation. People in Leyte Island, for example, they preserve the seeds to be planted in the next season in the cans, and they put them out on the ceilings. And this preservation, or this system of conservation can only preserve the seeds for maybe 6 months or maybe 1 year. So when the season are prolonged, then of course, these seeds will be going deteriorated. Market demand as well, also one of the costs after losing the genetic diversity. We know that probably in the market, we know that the ubi kelapa, coconut yam or white yam are more well sold in comparison to other 100 something cultivars. So these two cultivars are only grown mainly by the farmer, and the others are left unattended. And the effect will be the same. They will be going extinct when we don't take care of them. And introduction of new varieties. Many beans are sold in the stores. These are the result, the product of the new breeding programs. And because farmers in Ambon Islands, for example, they want to show the a good performance of the plants for crops, they will buy and then grow them, and leaving the ones, the local resources unattended. So the only way of doing it, or to ensure our food security in the future, is by preserving those genetic resources, those diversity that we have now, even though some of them have been eroded. The main reason to do this is by to be conservation and to provide the food for agricultural activities. Then therefore we can produce food which are cheaper, of course, and also it's healthy because we don't use inorganic matters. We also, they are there, physically accessible, and also healthy. It's, of course, it's has been mentioned previously. We can use it by the conservation. We can also restore the genetic base of the crops that are lost in other islands. With the conservation institution, we can bring back the seeds into the islands where the genetic diversity have lost. We can also then use them to develop new varieties, new cultivars in the future with higher quality and quantity. We can do more research and learning, so improve our knowledge and science. So what is exactly to be done is we need to establish community gene banks first. Community gene bank is one way of what we call the conservation system that can be called in situ or inter situ, which is conservation of wild varieties or semi-wild in the by managing the planting system in the farmers. But there are many types of community gene bank. We can read them in the literature. It's also have been implemented in many countries. Nepal, for example, a small country, but it has more than 100 community gene banks. So what we need in establishing community gene bank is to have a small office facilities, have a small seed bank, have a recycle garden, small land to recycle the collected crops. Train of the youth. We can train the fresh graduate from the faculties of agriculture or many other faculties, as well as the youth in the villages. We can then organize the farmers to conserve the crops. Then also doing inventory, survey and collection. Besides the community gene bank that need to be established in the different villages, in many villages in the regencies, we also need to establish government-funded gene banks. It has to be done in the regency. Every regency has one, and also the main gene bank is in the capital city of the province. And this will then will receive the duplicates from every gene bank to be as a safeguard, to save when something happened with the other gene banks, we can then just replace them by using the ones in the center gene bank. So what is the facilities we need? First, also office buildings. It will be a bigger one. It will be a big institution, of course. And field experimental stations, if we can see here, greenhouses and also experimental stations. We need also field collections for example, tree gene bank, tree banks, field banks, because many of the crops are also vegetatively propagated. So one way of conserving them is by using field collections. But also we need seed banks, the small one, or sorry, the medium term or short term collections, or we can call them also active collections, the collections that are used for research or exchanging germplasm with other institutions, and also the base collections or the collection for a long term. This will be preserved in the temperature of lower than 20 minus 20 degrees of Celsius by reducing the seed water content, moisture content, and also by maintaining the moisture level in the room. So these are some of them. This is very modern one and a very advanced seed banks. You can see the seeds are also they are giving the samples. So beside those systems or methods or techniques, the in vitro gene bank is also very needed, highly needed, because of the vegetatively propagated crops cannot be preserved using the seeds. Also, the many crops are producing the semi-recalcitrant and recalcitrant seeds. They are not orthodox seeds. So they have to be prepared using also in vitro gene bank. But in vitro gene bank can only used as the medium-term gene bank or active collection. So we need also cryopreservation. Cryopreservation can preserve the material forever as long as the liquid nitrogen is there. Liquid nitrogen is giving the temperature of minus 196 degrees of Celsius. So this will be forever as long as liquid nitrogen is present. We need also to prepare the researchers, technicians. We can produce undergraduate, masters, and PhDs in the area, and also doing intensive collaboration with other institutions, locally, nationally, and internationally. So after establishing this system or germplasm collection system, we need to establish the network. Network can be done also to exchange information and to know what we are doing in each of the gene banks, and also not only locally but also nationally and internationally. But also we need to make sure that the ownership of the germplasm belongs to the local people, because the indigenous community. So whenever the germplasm is developed in the industrial area, then it has to be benefit sharing, sharing the benefit with the local people. So these are the tasks that should be accomplished in a gene bank or in the conservation system. Before I read my conclusion, I just want to say something. Conservation, the number of the germplasm conserved in the world is now maybe 6 million, but the information was in the early 2000s. Now probably can be 8 million to 10 million or so. It comes from the, there are also gene banks under the FAO. They have institution in the many countries in the world, coordinated by International or Institute for Plant Genetic Resources, or Biodiversity International, now the name. And also in each country, also almost every country has its own gene bank. United States of America has about 500,000 up to 600,000 accessions coming from 5,000 species. Germany and England probably 370 up to 270 up to 300 accessions from 3,000 species. Japan has maybe 60,000 accession, yeah, and uniqueness that the Japan also collected the germplasm from our country, from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from Thailand, and if we don't collect our germplasms, in the maybe next 100 or 200 years, we will be maybe buying germplasms from Japan, or maybe we will sacrifice many things to receive germplasm from Japan. So scientists have mentioned that the cost to acquire the germplasm that is lost in the future is far more expensive than the cost to preserve them right now. So that's with that, I will read my conclusion. Pandemic COVID-19 has provided lessons that on food security, which is to develop potential commodities locally and by indigenous labors and technology. Maluku Island is also quite poor, but even though it is quite very rich in natural resources, conservation of crop genetic diversity is necessary to sustain food security. Various methods and techniques and the system also need to be developed to preserve the food security and therefore to ensure, to preserve the germplasm resources and therefore to ensure food security in the future. So these are the references that I use. And with that, I would say thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you for the moderator. I go bring back, I give it back to Pak Mon.
Very much, Dr. Seni. So we already have two presenter, keynote speakers. First, Dr. Yamamoto from Center for Island Studies, and has already presented food and energy in Micronesia, short note on economic of Chile and the Maluku province, and Dr. Leo Gutman with Generic University for Food Security, the case study of Maluku Island, and we already also focus on food security, sustainability, and impact, and also the idea of conservation network throughout the regional, national, as well as the international network. Thank you. And now we proceed to the question and answers and discussion. And as I see from the room, there are quite many questions and comments. First is basically to Dr. Sotapiki Yamamoto from Professor Riri, you got basically members of Faculty of Agriculture, particularly University, because of our collaboration, and we already visited Patimura University as well as Ambon Island. And there is a question, a very simple question. According to you, is Maluku area is prone to food insecurity? So basically a risk of food insecurity in Maluku Island, small island especially. I think that's a question to Dr. Sutaya Mamuto. And also probably comment the same question, asking for comment from Dr. Samuel Leluna. And the second question from Dr. Muri, are there any effort by local people to produce any other value-added products, local staple food, whether it's in a small island in Pacific or Maluku, such as fruit, banana, or intermediate ingredient such as flour, produce intermediate ingredients such as flour, or this can still be consumed season or as supply resilient food during or after disaster. I think that's also a question related to small island my colleague. I think that's a good question. And there is another question from Dr. Lily Hena. One is, why are you interested in doing research on chili, especially in Maluku? Second one, based on your experience about chili, how can we use to improve product added value from chili? That is possible to give added value from chili. And the third question is, how island would use local wisdom related to Japan so they can be elaborated further. That's the question. And if there is any question in the chat, I will answer later, but you have opportunity to Dr. Stein and time is yours.
Sorry, actually, I cannot hear your voice very clearly, so I could not understand the questions. But first, maybe I can answer the question to the chat comments. So first, I got a question from Professor Lily. So, Maluku area is prone to food insecurity or no? So actually, I am not sure. Maybe Professor Samuel is much better to answer these questions. Now, big problem is maybe very cheap rice. Just many people use in Maluku area. So if there is no rice, I don't know they can survive or not. But I don't know. But you have a big land, and also there are many good crops such as sago, watalas, or ubi. So I'm not sure about insecurity, food security or insecurity or no. I'm sorry. And then next question from Professor Tuhumuri about efforts to produce any other value-added products. The answer is no. And usually, no disaster, they can survive by their natural resources. Of course, they buy rice because they say it's easy to cook because they don't have to go to collect the fruits or dig the soil to collect the tuber and crop. So they like to eat rice. But if they have no money or no chance to buy rice, they can eat breadfruits, banana, and other tuber and crops. Actually, so population is not too much, and I think they can survive by the natural resources, crops. But if the big disaster occurred, sometimes they cannot get it. So they have to think about how to produce other value-added products. But usually, I can say they are lazy, not lazy, but so they don't think about the future. Just if they can get the food, it's okay. And then the last two questions about this is how does traditional wine sopi compare with sake? Professor Pereira. And actually, sopi is sake is like sageru because not distilled one. So sageru is, I think, the percentage is 4 or 5%, but sake is actually alcohol is 15, sometimes 15, so very high. But sopi is distilled one. In Japan, we say shochu, and I think sopi will be a good product for everybody in Indonesia. I think because I like sopi and sageru. Thank you very much.
Dr. Leonardo, or they can respond to the question about level of food security as well as insecurity.
Yeah, thank you, Pak. I will, so we know that we are quite rich in the natural resources on or diversity of food crops. But as a province of islands, I say we are prone to food insecurity. When something that catastrophic happens, there is no backup, or the buffer zone is very small. Yeah, island. There is no possibility to develop more populations of the food crops. We are diverse, but small in the numbers of populations. So when things are going wrong, then it's very vulnerable to the food insecurity. Yeah, so yeah, that's why there are some islands or some state islands has been grouped as a big organization by United Nations, and they are working on the planning to have what they call resilience islands or resilience group to specifically for the small islands. So I think we are prone to that, and we have to work together with those islands, and also to know what's the problem, and if catastrophic event taking place, yeah, we can be it can be also a problem with the food security. That's what I think. Yeah. Other crops to be developed. Of course, we have also many other crops besides not only cloves and nutmegs, but there are many others. Those are industrial crops. Yeah. Also, we have coconut, but it's not very well developed. We have the price is also very low right now. And the farmers are complaining about the price given to those crops. But it has been crops that supporting the life and the tuition fee of the students, and that's why they were so they complain about it. They demonstrate about the low price of coconut, for example. Yeah, other food crops. Yeah, we can say sago is one, and well, I think many of us know about it because the question comes from the Patimonia University. I think we can have a discussion more, but for this time, I will say, yeah, those things. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think that's very clear response to the questions. Probably Sota Yamamoto can still answer question. Some has been written in the chat room, but if you can still listen to me, hear me, I guess. The question is, why are you interested in doing research on Chile, especially in Maluku? And the second one, based on your experience about Chile, how can we use to improve product added value of Chile? And the third one, how island people of Maluku use local wisdom related to Chile. I think the last one you already discussed a little bit before, but I think the second one, first and second question, if you have a response. Thank you very much.
Actually, I cannot hear you very well, so maybe could you put in the chat? But anyway, first question.
While you answer the first question, which already in the chat, I will type.
Yeah,
I'm typing right now.
Yeah, please put in the second or third. And why am I interested in researching in Chile in Maluku? Actually, it's a very big difficult question. But first, chili pepper is originated in like South America. After that, chili peppers spread it to the all over the world, so as a spice. But I don't know why many areas they use chili peppers not only spice as but medicine or vegetables or rituals. So first, I'm really interested in the small islands in Micronesian area. Then I would like to compare the knowledge, traditional knowledge about chili peppers in Micronesian area and close to Micronesian area. So Maluku area, because there are many small islands and scattered by the big area. So I chose Maluku area to study chili peppers. Is it okay? Is it?
Yes. Yes.
Second question は何やったっけ? Based on my experience about Chile, how can we increase? It's a very also difficult questions. because in Indonesia or in Southeast Asia, everywhere they eat chili peppers, so very difficult to add the value. But for example, maybe sambal is very special, like sauce in Indonesia, and also I forgot choro in Maluku or Sulawesi area. It's very good, like sauce. So I think many Japanese people like choro. So if you make a good sauce choro, maybe you can sell to Japanese people to eat fish. Maybe I don't know. The third question. Oh, and so actually, so local wisdom related to chili. I don't know why they use something like this, but for example, chili leaves for bisu. This is actually almost all the islands in Oceania. They use such kind of for like leaves for bisu. And some literature said before the chili comes to the maybe Oceanian area, they used like eggplant leaves for bisu. So like solanan. So after the chili peppers come to the Oceanian area, they try to use chili leaves for bisu. So it means like now ritual ways or medicinal ways of chili peppers. If I survey that kind of information, maybe I can reveal the more old culture in Indonesia or like other oceanic area. Maybe before chili comes, some like this plant used for these rituals, but replaced by chili peppers. So if I survey chili peppers, maybe I can reveal the old culture in Maluku area, maybe. Thank you.
So, yeah, I guess that's a very clear question, including things related to the local wisdom related to Chile and some other local communities. We still have some time, so we are ahead of time, but there is some still some comment. Maybe from speaker, maybe Pak Semi can add a little bit about the respond to the question. The question is direct. Dr. Semi have some ideas about the answer of the question. If so, I can still have give time to the person. Yours if there is any comment.
Or the question, yeah. Yeah, maybe I can just add some small things also. We during our project regarding the opportunity to develop different crops than nutmeg and cloves. Yeah, I want to comment on that. When we did our project together with joint work with the companies from the Netherlands, we also discussed 5 crops: banana, sago, cloves, nutmeg, as well as the coconut. So banana was also mentioned frequently. We discussed about the certain type of banana, these skyhold banana, pisang tongkawangit, you know that. This so there is an opportunity to develop this as a industrial product to have a market in outside the country to be export, but we need to prepare them as a puree banana, and also good package, pack them nicely in the then we can like sell them to the market abroad, because this banana contains the high vitamin A, prerequisite or precursor of vitamin A. So it is very demanded in the international market, specifically in the Netherlands, as we experienced that, we discussed it with our working partner. So I think also that's one of the opportunities that we would like to, we can see in the future. Besides, of course, the nutmeg is now focused because we also have established a platform, innovation on what to do, programs to be done in the future regarding the development of nutmegs. So yeah, those are the things that I can add. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samuel Leudugna of Patimura University, and also Dr. Sota Yamamoto of Fukushima University. I think we already have enjoyed your presentation, very good one, and also possibility of continuing with future collaboration on either chili or other genetic resources in Maluku in the future. Probably collaboration with Pak Semi, who is also interested in genetic resource utilization and also conservation. I think that's a very good one. And I don't I don't summarize anymore because already summarized by each of the presenter. And in general, I enjoy moderating this presentation from the first session and especially the second session with Dr. Soda Yamamoto and Dr. Samuel Leudugna. And with the time, we are basically ahead of time of this presentation and discussion. And then we will have parallel session, which will have 4 parallel sessions, but this will be organized by the committee. And now we are going to be in a break a little bit to prepare the parallel session. And the time I give to the committee. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for our speakers and our moderator.
Thank you, Pak Sota. Yeah. See you later. Yeah, talk to you again maybe sometimes, Pak Sota. Why not?
See you in Ambon.
Yeah, yeah, surely if you come in Ambon, yeah, we will meet. Yeah.
Saguero and Sophie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Now to express our gratitude, we will give the certificate for Dr. Sota Yamamoto and Dr. Ismail S. Leudugna.
Ladies and gentlemen, please once again give a big round of applause for our speakers. And thank you so much for our
Okay.
next agenda. The next agenda is parallel session. For this session, each participant can join by yourself 4 rooms. There are 4 rooms in this conference, so the participant can join by yourself, or if you cannot afford it, then the committee will help you to join the room.
Dengar kunci bunyi jam tak kisu di situ. Mari dansa sama-sama, angkat kaki sabalah. Mari putar ke kiri dan ke kanan, nona. Mari dansa sama-sama, polo nona rapate.
Mengapa nyong latarnya beta berulang-ulang terlalu-lalu. Beta subilang maafkan saja, jangan katanya syo eta lalu. Ale susah ada yang punya, mengapa tinggal buju selalu. Ale
Mari dansa sama-sama, angkat kaki sabarlah.